So let's take an email. Dear Ava, I took your great Queen Teachings class, and it did really change my life, like they always say, but never deliver. Oops. But you did. Oh, okay, good. I think and act completely differently now. One thing I notice I have a hard time keeping to is your advice on self care. You had a whole section on it and gave really great tips, but I can't ever seem to get to it. And then I promise myself tomorrow, in quotes. Why is self care so hard for me? Well, sister, I completely get it. First of all, please remember that you are living in a many millennia old patriarchy, which is pretty much designed around and has been for thousands of years, so it's gotten really good at it. Pretty much designed around gaslighting women as a group to believe that self care is selfish. Self care is too time consuming, and we have to get something done today, usually for others. Self care is not as important as other things, like every other thing that somebody needs. Self care is expensive. Self care is a luxury, not a necessity. We'll get to it when we have some free time. Oh, but wait, you never have any free time, do you? So it's like that. And I too have greatly struggled with self care and taking care of myself properly every day. So this could be a day long course, and maybe someday it will be. But here is the short answer. Aside from the first one I just mentioned, that our whole society is set up to tell women to not waste time on self care. But there are several other very good, very interesting, additional, and more individual reasons why women have such a hard time getting to self care every day. And it has to do with your particular version of your particular ego drive and what your particular ego is telling you is important. The number one reason why women have such a hard time consistently doing any real self-care is that their self-esteem is so damn low that they think that they don't deserve it. The message in their minds is, you are just not worth the time and effort to, what's a good example? Let's draw a scented hot bath with candlelight. That's kind of a classic image of self-care. So we'll use that one. You are just not worth, the message goes, the time and effort to draw a lovely hot bath with scent, with candles. You struggle through your day just trying to keep things going, keep life going, struggling to keep the peace, perhaps, in a lot of cases. You don't think of personal pleasure and self-care as being your birthright. You'll luxuriate in a scented hot bath when you feel worthy, which will be, according to this thinking, never. Reason number two. It's related to the first, but it's a little more specific. You have decided that your job is to take care of everyone around you before you take care of yourself. Every single other human being, and let's throw animals in there as well, every single other being in your life is somehow more important than you. How dare you, goes the thinking, how dare you luxuriate in a scented hot bath when so many need you? People's endless needs are utterly essential, and you are not meeting them. Scented candle-lit baths lead to selfishness, and selfishness leads directly to the people you love being miserable. And it's all your fault. Reason number three. I know about this one. You are a workaholic. You are very success-oriented. You are driven to produce and achieve. And you ask yourself, how the hell does wasting time sloshing around in a hot bath help you be successful? What are you doing procrastinating, avoiding the work that you need to do in order to succeed? Taking time for a hot scented candle-lit bath means that you probably will fail. And then no one will love you, because no one loves a failure. And then you will be shunned by all good society, as they say in Pride and Prejudice. Or maybe that was Sense and Sensibility. I can't remember. And you will be left on your own, homeless probably, to sicken in the mean streets from exposure and starvation. And then, obviously, you die. You see it so clearly. Scented, candlelit hot baths lead directly to death. Fight me. Reason number 4. You are really mentally focused, and you spend most of your time in your head. Caring for your body or doing other forms of self-care just doesn't occur to you because you are not connected to your body and maybe not even so much your relationships. It never occurs to you to luxuriate in a scented hot bath. A candlelit bath? What? You can't so meticulously research the correct scientific facts to craft your brilliant and irrefutable rebuttal to that fool on Facebook, Nextdoor, Twitter, whatever, while you're hanging around in a bathtub. Reason number 5. You are too worried and too anxious about too many things to actually enjoy caring for yourself. How can anyone lounge around in a scented hot bath with all this shit going on in the world? People who do these things are either too ignorant to know what's really going on, what's going to happen to them, or they just don't care. Either way, your bug-out prepper bag certainly doesn't have room for some scented bath oil. And yeah, those worthless hair bubble bathers will be coming to you, the turtle, when SHTF. Reason number 6. You're a control freak, and self-care breaks that focus. You can't control anyone while you're locked in a bathroom, sitting in the bathtub, completely cut off from all those people who are such idiots that they need you to control them. What kind of trouble are those fools going to get into as you isolate yourself, not giving them the benefit of you telling them how to live their lives? Self-care clearly leads to everything falling apart. You know that. We all know that. Reason number 7. You are a scattered, unfocused dilettante, and you never plan your day. You never plan for regular moments of self-care because it always seems like there are always too many exciting and interesting things grabbing your attention next. And, you feel like, well, I can take a candlelit bath anytime. You need new stimulation. Your focus is always outward, never inward. With all that outward focus, what's really happening, unbeknownst to you, of course, you big avoider you, what's really happening is that you are running from pain. Sitting quietly in a hot bath for a few minutes would allow for way too much internal crap to bubble up from your unconscious into your bubble bath. Crap you definitely don't want to face because you have no idea how to deal with it. So in this view, self-care leads to too much consciousness. Let's not go there. So those are the 7 reasons why many, if not most women, do not take good care of themselves. And there are probably 100 more. The facts are these. Number 1, self-care is necessary if you are going to be a balanced, peaceful, and compassionate woman. Would you like to think of yourself as a peaceful and compassionate woman? Because the reality is, you may not be. Lack of self-care is actually violence to oneself. It's actually lack of compassion for yourself. You are not separate from the all life that needs your compassion. You are part of all that. So if you cut yourself out of that, if you disinclude yourself from the one there's only one of, and the compassion that you have for that, then you are actually doing violence to yourself. Number 2, self-care is necessary if you really want to help others. If you don't take care of yourself, you know what'll happen. You will eventually lose energy, you'll get sick, you may die early, and you won't be able to help anybody. In fact, and I know this from personal experience with relatives of mine, you might become a severe burden to your loved ones when you are so broken down after years of abusing yourself silently, and then you'll need their care. So self-care helps you stay independent, keeps you from being a burden on anyone. It gives you a greater chance of not being a burden to anyone. Anything can happen, we know that. And it allows you, in your strength, to help more people. 3, self-care prevents arrogance. Self-care helps you remember the truth that thinking that the world desperately needs you and you only to solve all of its problems is truly a form of arrogance. 4, self-care makes you more successful. Self-care strengthens you, provides you with personal power, perspective, and insight, and it makes you more likely to be successful. Self-care actually, in the long run, helps you achieve more. 5, self-care helps you be in command of you before you try to lead others. Self-care helps you remember to turn your focus inward for a bit every day and let go of trying to control others. Self-care reminds you that it is important to command yourself first, and then perhaps you may be in a position to wisely lead others. Number 6, self-care teaches others very well. Your self-care will be a good example to others, particularly young women who know you, maybe your daughters if you have them. It'll be a good example to sisters and good friends. They may realize after watching your good example that self-care truly is important if a person like you is doing it. Self-care helps others learn that taking care of themselves is not a waste of time, but is a valuable and necessary thing to do. Number 7, self-care gets you into your body. It is nearly impossible to be a full and balanced woman if you will not get off that screen and out of your head and drop in to your body. Self-care will make you stronger, clearer, more powerful, more respected, more able to connect with all life, with Mother Nature, with animals, with everything. Number 8, self-care is the ultimate feminist activity. Self-care is the ultimate feminist activity. If enough of us do it, our rotten patriarchal system that we all have to live in will go down the drain with our scented bathwater. Well, here are some self-care ideas. Of course, we start with the traditional bubble bath. So instead of a quick functional shower, a delicious, unhurried hot bath, complete with candles, nice scented bath oil, and your favorite bathing implements. And don't be on the phone. Instead of grabbing something from a fast food place on the way home, taking time to prepare a wholesome meal of your favorite unprocessed foods, or maybe meeting a friend in person for a meal with some lovely actual human connection, caring, and sharing of hearts. Ha ha, feel the Shakti. Instead of keeping the house Martha Stewart level clean, nobody cares. Skip a day and use that time to read a fantastic book by the fire, sipping a glass of something wonderful. Oh, instead of mindlessly scrolling Facebook for a couple of hours, what does that do for you? Take your dog on a walk in nature, noticing everything that's really real around you, letting all your senses be affected, thanking the trees and the grass and the clouds in the sky. Instead of staying up late watching yet another stupid, violent trash movie on Netflix, go to bed early so you can get up with the dawn and take a morning walk in the freshness of a new day. You know, self-care is also doing the necessary things to take care of your life and yourself long term. And these are things that aren't necessarily fun or instantly gratifying, but that give you order, peace, and abundance long term. Self-care can be, instead of taking a bubble bath, it can be sitting for an afternoon, making a long-term financial plan for yourself. Feel the sense of security. So what are your ideas for self-care? Share your thoughts with our community in the comment section. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bless your sacred life and always walk in the world like the good queen you are.